What's up, guys? Welcome back to Spoiling Movies. My name is Chris, and I'm going to tell you about a movie I watched a long while ago, and that you've all watched and probably enjoyed. Most of you probably have seen it. It's Avengers. I'm going to tell you most of the things that happen in the movie. I'm not going to go super in depth, but I am going to talk about a big chunk of the things that happen, and then at the end, I'm going to give you, my full opinion about how I feel about it. So we open with exposition from some alien guy about the Tesseract and about Loki and the army that is going to be used to get the Tesseract and bring the army there so they can take over the Earth and do all kinds of crazy shit. The secret organization SHIELD headquarters is being evacuated because the Tesseract that they're keeping secret there is doing some weird shit. It's starting to react strangely, and they think it's gonna blow the place up and shit. So everybody's fucking running out of there. So Nick Fury goes in there and he's talking to Eric Selvig, the scientist guy, about what's going on. Tesseract activates a thing, opens up this weird gateway thing that just sort of poofs, and Loki is there, looking creepy. And so Loki starts attacking people, and Hawkeye is there, and he takes his scepter with the glowy shit in it, and he sticks it on his chest, and he apparently takes over his body, so he's a slave now, and he does that to Eric Selvig, the scientist guy. But it also can shoot blasts, so he's blasting and attacking people, but he took over Hawkeye, and he took over the scientist man. Loki manages to get the Tesseract and drive away. So there's a car chase scene. Fury's trying to catch him, but they manage to get away. And Fury's like, "Motherfucker." He doesn't really say that. And then we get the Avengers banana. Epic song intro, epic beginning. All the SHIELD headquarters just collapses into the ground. Black Widow is being interrogated by some Russian mobster dudes. She's tied to a chair, and they're like, "You did not, you not know about these things we do. We'll torture you if you do these, blah blah blah, whatever." They get a phone call, and it's Agent Coulson from SHIELD, and he's like, "We got a fucking, we got a plane that's 8 miles out, and it's gonna decimate your whole area if you don't put Natasha on the phone." So he's like, "Oh shit." So he gives her the phone, and he's like, "We need you to come in and do some shit." And she's like, "I'm busy. These motherfuckers are, they're doing what I need them to do." She's like, "All right, fine." And then she just starts fucking kicking everybody's ass, breaks out of the chair, kicks their asses with the chair, and walks out of there with her high heels. Black Widow's new assignment is to go find Bruce Banner and get him on board with the new mission to get the Tesseract back and all that. Bruce Banner is in India, in some place in India, I think. And of course Bruce has been trying to hide and not get involved in shit that's gonna make him, turn into Hulk and stuff. And so he's like, "No, I don't want to do it." And she's like, "You really need to do it because it's very, very important, and you're a good scientist, and we need you to help, do the shit." She manages to talk him into it because it's like a, universe-threatening thing, so she convinces him to come help. Meanwhile, Nick Fury is going to Captain America Steve Rogers, and he is, he's punching his fucking punching bags. Fury ends up giving him a little dossier with information about the Tesseract and things that need to be done, and that he needs to help, so he also agrees to help. SHIELD's security shit is so advanced that Agent Coulson is able to go into Stark Tower, talks to Pepper Potts, talks to Tony, tells him what's going on, and we need your help, and you kind of have to do this. So alright, Iron Man's like, "Alright, fine, I gotta help." Everybody meets on this big SHIELD helicarrier, which is this giant ship that's in the ocean. They land on the ship, and they start talking. Bruce and Captain America talking to each other, and then the whole place lifts out of the ocean up into the sky using these big ass fucking propeller things that are impossibly crazy. Get up into the sky, and they turn on stealth panels, so the whole thing just kind of disappears into the sky. Agent Coulson starts talking to Captain America, and he's like, "I've got these cards, and they're vintage, and it'd be cool if you could sign them or whatever." And he's like, "It's fine." He's like, "If that's all right." Loki disguises himself using his trickery magic and gets into this big rich people fancy party thing somewhere. Steals a guy's eye to get some more equipment, something that he needs to build, to help build the machine that they're building. Loki gets what he needs, and then reveals himself to everybody, and and tells them all to kneel, and he uses his like magic to intimidate them and shit. Some old guy stands up and he's like, "We're not gonna do what you want us to do because you're a piece of shit, you fucking Loki, you trickster bitch." And Loki's like just about to fucking blast the guy, and Captain America comes in, fucking knocks the blast back at Loki, and fights him a little bit. AC/DC starts playing through one of the ships that's hovering, and that's when Iron Man shows up, and he's like, "Fucking stand down, bitch." So they've got Loki on a plane, but then you start hearing thunder, and Thor comes down onto the plane, opens the shit up, grabs Loki, and fucking just like gets the fuck out of there with Loki. And Iron Man's like, he just took the guy. We got to get the fuck out there. So him and Captain America both jump out of the plane, go after him. But Thor and Loki have a moment to bicker between each other. Loki like, "Nah, we need to rule these people." Thor's like, "Why can't you just come back to Asgard? I thought you were dead. We're brothers." And he's like, "No, fuck you, man." Iron Man shoots in and fucking takes Thor out down to the ground, and then they start getting into a fight. Thor uses a big ass lightning blast at Iron Man, but it ends up just charging his suit up to like 400%, and so Iron Man's able to knock him back and shit. And then Captain America joins in and he's like, "Hey, stop fighting. This isn't cool. Like, we're losing the guy or whatever. We don't know what's going on, but you need to put the hammer down." He's like, "You want me to put the hammer down?" And so he takes his hammer and fucking bashes it onto Captain America's shield, and it just goes. Loki is now being imprisoned on the shield helicarrier in some weird chamber that they've devised. Tony Stark and Bruce Banner are in a science lab area on the shield helicarrier. Tony's kind of taunting him to be like, "You know what? You need to let loose the green monster because that's what you need to do because we got to do what we got to do, whatever." Captain America shows up and he's like, "You need to quit doing that bullshit." And he's like, "Yeah, but you need to fucking get the fuck out of here because, like, S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing a lot of shady shit that we don't know about." So Captain America decides to go and do some investigating of his own, figure out what S.H.I.E.L.D.'s up to. Meanwhile, Tony's already, like, put his technology in there to get all of their secrets and shit. And Captain America does end up finding weapons that they were using the Tesseract for. They were using the Tesseract to build these new pew-pew fucking laser weapons. Black Widow goes and talks to Loki, and just using her feminine wiles and her intellect, she's able to have Loki say what really he was there to do. Get the Hulk there so he'd fuck them all up. And so she learns that, and she's like, "Thanks for the info, bitch. I got what I need. I'm gonna go tell people that you were trying to get the Hulk fucked up." Captain America and Iron Man at the same time have learned S.H.I.E.L.D.'s secrets, that they were using the Tesseract as a deterrent against weird space shit, but they were gonna make all these crazy weapons, and they're like, "That's fucked up and immoral." Thor's yelling at everybody. Iron Man and Captain America are yelling at each other. Hulk gets pissed off and kind of like picks up a scepter and is about to fuck shit up. Then we learn that Hawkeye has a ship that's coming in, and he shoots an arrow, and he like clicks a button, blows up one of the ship things, and they start like infiltrating with the other bad guy members of Loki's team. Black Widow and Hulk had been like, knocked through the ground onto a different level, so they're just kind of by themselves, and Hulk starts transforming, and she's like, "Calm the fuck down, man, this is not gonna go cool if you start getting all fucking green." And he's like, "I can't fucking stop getting green," and she's like, "Oh shit," and she starts running. Captain America and Iron Man start to try and figure out how to fix the engine that was blown up. The Hulk chasing Black Widow scene is very, very reminiscent of what happens in the first Iron Man movie. I actually made this reference in that video. It's very similar. The shot where, the giant hulking creature is just destroying shit while chasing a woman. It's almost the same shot completely. Thor tries to stop Hulk from fucking shit up, and he gets Mjolnir, the hammer, and he fucking bashes him upside the face. There's even a moment where like Hulk is trying to pick up the hammer, and he's like digging his toes into the metal trying to get the thing up. And it's another thing where like, what are the logistics of the goddamn hammer spell? Only those that are worthy can pick it up, but it's also floating in air on an aircraft. You know what? I'm not gonna get back into that. Some aircraft starts shooting its machine guns at Hulk, and Hulk fucking turns around, jumps out the window onto the plane, rips the guy out and tosses him, and then the plane explodes and the Hulk goes, "Mrrr!" Iron Man's using his thrusters to start trying to push the the propeller thing on the broken thing. Thor sees Loki like out of the chamber with the door open, so he runs and he tries to fucking spear him, and it turns out that wasn't Loki because he's a trickster. So he gets Thor into the chamber, closes the door, and Black Widow and Hawkeye have a little fight, and they have very similar skills, so it's a fairly even match. Agent Coulson shows up with a big-ass experimental gun that he says he doesn't know what it does, but it's probably gonna fuck him up. And Loki's like, has some big speech where he's like, you could not even possibly skadoosh! Like, Coulson just fucking launches it. He was already, like, dying from a fatal wound, so, like, he's like, so that's what it does. And then his character dies after blasting Loki, which was a nice, both funny moment because he shot Loki in a comedic way, but also it's sad that Coulson died because he's kind of a cool guy and a hero. Thor gets dropped. The chamber thing was meant to drop out of the sky. So the whole thing was sent out of the ship down to Earth, but before it hits Earth, he's able to fucking fling his hammer and shoot out of the side of it right before it hits. Loki manages to escape. Nick Fury finds Coulson dead and goes and talks to the team. Everyone's that's left. The helicarrier's still flying, but Loki's gone and Hulk's gone, Thor's gone. Nick Fury tells Tony and Captain America and Black Widow, he's like, these were the playing cards that Coulson wanted Captain America to sign, and they're covered in blood. And he's like, this is what he wanted, and apparently you guys aren't the team that I thought you could be. And all Coulson wanted was for you guys to be able to be a team and work together and all this. And there's an emotional speech, and he gets to everybody. Hulk managed to survive because he's the Hulk, and of course he did. He bashed through a building. He stuck the landing because he's the Hulk, but he wakes up as Bruce Banner, and some guy walks up to him and he's like, I saw you fall out of the sky naked as a jaybird. He's like, I think you have a condition, son. You were green and naked, whatever. Black Widow had managed to subdue Hawkeye, and just by keeping him in a place and just letting him regain his humanity, somehow he's able to come back, and they able to talk and be part of the heroes again. We found out that Loki has built this machine, and it's on top of Stark Tower, and it is going to open a gateway for an army of bullshit to come through. They initially try to destroy the machine, but there's a force field around it. So Tony ends up going down into his tower and talking to Loki, and makes himself a drink, and he's like, this isn't going to end good for you. Even if you do what you think you're trying to do, we're going to come after you. Somebody's going to come after you. One of the heroes is going to fuck you up, man. We're going to avenge this shit. If we can't save it, we're going to fucking avenge it, you Loki bitch. Fucking Earth. You don't fuck with Earth, huh? Loki tries to use his scepter thing to take over Tony's heart, but it goes ding, and it hits his little heart plate arc reactor thing, and so he can't do shit. So Loki throws him out of a window, and he's flying down, but he's got this new machine, and he's like, launch the new fucking Iron Man armor. So the thing comes and attaches to him, and he's able to get himself back fucking up. Then we get blue space light coming out of the machine, portal opening up, bad guys starting to come down into the world and shooting people and doing fucked up shit. Thor and Loki start fighting on Stark Tower, and then the big ass fucking whale demon alien creatures start coming out. So you got the little guy aliens coming out, and then you got big mama jammas fucking floating around like So the Chitauri, some of them are on the ground shooting with their little blasty blasters, and some of them are flying around in the sky on hoverboards and shit, and they start attacking civilians and blowing up cars and buildings and shit. There's a moment where Hawkeye takes his bow or an arrow or something and stabs it through one of the Chitauri alien people's armor. And I was like, what kind of weak-ass alien metal are you using? Or what kind of amazing arrow stabby thing do you have, Hawkeye? What kind of weak-ass aliens can be stabbed by a human fucking arrow? Bruce Banner shows up on a little mini motorbike thing, and he sees one of the big-ass whale alien demon creatures coming down at him. And they're like, what are we gonna do? And he's like, I'm gonna fucking Hulk out, bitch. He doesn't say that. His line is really cool. Captain America tells Bruce, I need you to get angry. And he says, that's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry. And he turns into the Hulk and he turns around and fucking punches the fucking bitch right in the face. And it starts to go crunk, 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 and like flip over. And then like Iron Man just throws some shit in there and blows up the pieces. And it's such a great moment. And then we get the circle shot, fucking Thor landing. He's right in the circle with Black Widow and Captain America and Iron Man and Hawkeye and the Hulk. And they're all just in a circle. And it's fucking Goosebumps, baby. It's Goosebumps, baby. And then there's just a bunch of amazing action shots. There's a moment with Captain America and Iron Man. Iron Man's blasting people. Captain America's doing his thing. And then they both work together. And like Iron Man reflects his blast off Captain America's shield and fucking blasts the other guy. It's so cool. And then there's Hulk and Thor on the back of one of those big old whale fuckers. Hulk takes like a big hunk of metal and smashes it into the back of the creature, and then Thor smashes it down with the hammer into the thing. There's so many cool shots in these moments. Weird secret shadow government people behind S.H.I.E.L.D. decide that they're going to send a nuke to New York. Hawkeye sends an explosive arrow that Loki catches and blows up in his face, sends him back down, somehow into Stark Tower once again. Hulk is there and Loki's, like, you can't fuck with me, you creature, you fucking asshole. He just gets swooped up by the leg and just bashed on the ground and shit.
Puny god.
The scientist Selvig guy tells Black Widow about the portal and how it can be closed with the scepter. You need Loki's scepter. If you stick it in there in just the right spot, it'll close the portal that they've opened. Hulk's got like a bunch of aliens shooting at him. A lot of the heroes start getting overrun and overpowered. But Iron Man knows that nuke is coming in. Iron Man finds out about it, and Iron Man decides to grab the nuke when it comes out, and he's gonna take it up into the portal. Black Widow manages to hit the thing that's gonna turn off the portal. But Iron Man's already, like, up in there. He's out in space somewhere, and he's out of power, and he lets go of the bomb, and it's getting sent up to the ship, and it hits the ship. Iron Man tries to make one last call to Pepper Potts, and she doesn't pick up, and it's kind of sad, because he's, like, dying while he's, like, falling back, and the portal is closing. But the explosion of that one big ship ended up turning off all the power or killing all of these creatures, all the Chitauri and their big whale creatures. They all just start falling to Earth, and they're all, like, done because the master ship had some weird flaw in it, maybe? Let's not ask questions, it's just cool. They're like, did Tony make it out of there? But they do see Tony, and he's, like, falling from the sky, and there's nobody there to catch him. Except the Hulk. The Hulk's like, I'm gonna go fucking catch him. And he grabs his ass, and he fucking sets him on the ground. But we don't know if Tony's alive or dead. He's just laying there. They're like, what are you doing? Wake up or whatever. And then Hulk's like, "Hurrah!" And he's like, yeah! So he's alright. And then there's a Stan Lee cameo, which, R.I.P. Stan Lee, thank you for all the good times. And they did it. The Avengers have all kind of scattered to their own places. And that's the end of the movie. I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite movies ever. I never thought that I'd get to see a live-action version of all these characters that actually worked and made sense. As a kid, if you grew up watching cartoons or hearing about these characters, or reading comics or whatever, you never think that, like, you would end up seeing something like this. I didn't even care that much about Thor or Iron Man, yet this movie and all of the Marvel movies leading up to this have made me care about these characters, and now I care more about them later. So I think this is a very important MCU Marvel movie, and that's why it's one of my favorite movies ever, because, you get to experience all of these things that you never thought would actually come together and work. And they do work, and it's fun. It's fun to watch. I'm glad they're making money off this stuff. I'm so happy that I finally got to see this. It's amazing. It's awesome to see these characters team up and, like, how it all makes sense. Anyway, I'm done gushing about the fucking movie. I loved it. I recommend it. I think it's cool, and I hope you guys did too. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking, feeling. Love to hear what you guys have to say, and I'll catch you next time on the next one. Peace out. Agent Coulson from Shield, I guess, is their Shield is so, and that's when the Thor's. So Loki is now. We learned that Hawkeye has a Hulkskan Thorskan. My name is Hulkskan Thorskan. I mean, they have a name. So the Chitauri are this nobody.